there is a lot of prosperity that is going to be created out of this AI revolution, and we ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, it's going to blow our minds. And as prosperity is created, that's going to mean more dollars, more money flowing into the economy.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Wow, we're already at the end of January. Who could believe it? I mean, the election was just a couple of short months ago, and here we are, man, in the thick of things. What is happening with the economy, real estate, crypto, gold, silver? Jason Hartman is with us now. You find him at jasonhartman.com. And Jason, it's great to have you back on. I see you're getting some sun here, which is good in sunny South Florida. The cold weather is gone, but what are you seeing? And you look into your crystal ball for the months and the years ahead, now that there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm glad there's a new sheriff in town, because it seems like we are only 10 days in to the new administration, and amazing things are happening. I mean, it is so good. It is incredible when you see an actual executive with leadership skills and business skills running things. It's just awesome. I am so impressed. And I know there are a few of you out there who probably think, oh, you're crazy, whatever, think, what do you want? A free. I mean, last time he worked for free, okay? And he works very hard. He's got massive amounts of energy. And I think he's mostly got great ideas, and he's doing great things. As far as the economy overall, Kerry, and we'll talk about the real estate market too, because of course that's my main business, is helping real estate investors buy properties nationwide, as you know. And I think overall the economy, I think everything that's happening is very good news. But I caution everybody, it's not going to be without some short-term pain. I mean, look, if you take millions of people out of the economy, they have jobs. Of course, they're low-paying immigrant-type jobs, the vast majority of them, and they rent cheap properties, right? So if you're a landlord in one of those low-end properties where your tenants are these people, you're going to have some people move out, right? And that's going to increase your vacancies. If you're an employer, you're going to lose that person. And ultimately, they're a net cost to the economy. The studies say that illegal immigrants cost about $8,000 per year each in terms of government costs, but there are other costs beyond that. And so good long-term, but not without some short-term bumps in the road. So that's be prepared.
Who's going to pick the blueberries for your smoothie, Jason?
Well, those jobs all got done in the 50s, okay? And it's when I go around the world, I've now been to 99 countries. I almost made it to 100, but when I tried to go to Vietnam just over a month ago, I had a problem with my visa.
So you have to have a visa to go to Vietnam. That is correct.
I did not get to my 100th country yet, but I'll get there. Anyway, in all my travels, and some of those countries I've been to many times, I've traveled extensively for long times, throughout my life. And, the thing that has amazed me that I've noticed since 1999, when I was in Australia, I remember noticing this. We had white Australian people cleaning the hotel rooms, okay? And doing all these menial jobs that they say they won't do. They will do it if they get a fair wage, okay? It's just simple supply and demand. This idea that only, brown immigrants will do these jobs is so racist and so ridiculous. It's just nonsensical. It makes no sense at all. It's completely racist. It's like saying, okay, we've got to get a bunch of slaves to come in here and work for no money to do these menial jobs. All those jobs were done before.
Yeah, of course.
People ate blueberries in the 50s. They ate strawberries in the 50s. Houses got built. Stuff happened. it all worked before just fine. Okay, in a more functional economy.
Prices
The last several decades is a very dysfunctional economy. Yeah,
hey, if you can't,
prices will go up, but wages will go up too.
yeah.
So
You can't hire an illegal house cleaner, then you hire a legal one, and you're going to pay double. That's all. So you won't have the person there as much, whatever. But
well, your own wages are going to go up.
Yeah.
because those jobs are being taken now by immigrants, right? And so they will now be filled with citizens that are here legally.
Yeah.
And those wages will rise.
But, you're like not giving the former occupant of the White House enough credit here, Jason, because he ended the Afghan war, which was a useless war
disaster.
fought for 20 years. Right? That was a major accomplishment. He's proud of that.
But the ending of it was a complete disaster, as we both know.
Hey, but you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs.
Right.
Number 2 is he ended the labor shortage, right? Top achievements of his administration. And number 3, he solved the hotel crisis.
Yeah. I know you are being sarcastic. So.
Well, but I think those are the major achievements of his reign of terror here, his reign of error, right?
Reign of error and terror. That's a good way. Yeah, it was a complete disaster.
Unmitigated.
The Biden crime family was awful.
And he knew it was going to happen because the guy was never bright. He finished damn near the bottom of his law school class, and it wasn't that great a law school. I think University of Delaware or Syracuse. I think it was Syracuse. And he was always a buffoon. He was a serial plagiarizer. And anyway, without getting into it all.
Yeah, I agree. He was a disaster.
Were you shocked by the number of executive orders and the rapidity of the Trump regime?
Oh, I think Trump is incredible. Listen, I didn't really like him that much before, honestly. I mean, I've had a lot of Trump people on my shows over the years. And, I always said I thought he was kind of childish and immature, but I think he's grown up. I really do. And I think he is an executive and a leader. And he is, he is a hard worker. No one can take that away from him. And, the fact that he held 3 press conferences the day of his inauguration, the fact that he was in the Oval Office signing executive orders, the fact that he was in that arena signing executive orders. I mean, we all saw that. And the orders make sense. I mean, these are the right things to do. The only danger I see now where he could really screw up, in my opinion, at the moment, I mean, there's certainly a lot of time left for him to make a lot of mistakes, but I worry that he will let these tech oligarchs get too close to him. Zuckerberg is chumming up with her, even though, he just paid him $25 million to settle that case where he sued Facebook, thankfully, and got a $25 million settlement. Just yesterday, I read about that. That was in Trump's favor. And that was because they deplatformed him. And, Facebook should pay that to everybody they censored and deplatformed. I mean, they're just equal. So these tech oligarchs, I mean, Joe Biden was right about that when he was leaving office. Kind of similar to, who was it that said that? Not Truman, but someone who's, talked about the danger of the military.
That was Eisenhower.
Eisenhower who said that. Yeah, when he was leaving.
Archer speech.
Right. And Biden said it about the tech oligarchs. And I agree with Biden. He's right about that. I mean, occasionally he says something true.
Jason, who financed Facebook? Who financed Amazon?
CIA. Yeah.
So really, his warning is just the same warning as Eisenhower when you peel the onion, and that is beware of the military-industrial complex and the deep state. It's just the deep state. So I came up with an idea, though, to speed up the pace of deportations.
Okay.
And let me know what you think. So you offer a bounty for every illegal $1,000.
That was in your newsletter. It's a great idea.
Yeah. It leads to their departure. If they're violent criminals, $10,000. It's still going to be cheaper than having the government track them down. And then you have a database with every single illegal on it.
Right.
And then, people will make their livings just being bounty hunters.
Right. But now I think that is on its face, a great idea, because the other thing you didn't mention that's going to be great about that too is it would pump a lot of money into the economy.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the people who, it's a small number that don't have a job, or they're an Uber driver or Lyft driver or something. And, they could make a lot of extra money. That could change their life, being one of these bounty hunters. The only thing that I don't like about it is this, in all these dictatorships, we have had this idea that, report snitch, right?
I know.
Report your neighbors, report your friends. That has a little bit of that flavor that does worry me. Okay, it could get out of control, but hey, it's worth a try. Yeah. And if it gets out of control, we'll just cancel it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a really sincere effort, but there's tens of millions of them here. I hate to reward bad behavior, because the last time we did that during Reagan, when he signed the amnesty for roughly 3 million, that's what led to this, because they just say, well, we'll just do it till they do the next amnesty and the next. And there hasn't been another one. But one thing I would like to see is a tax amnesty. It's never been held on the federal level, where basically if you owe any taxes, whether they figured it out or not, you could just pay it without any penalties, without any interest. Everybody just pays it. And they pull in $1 trillion there with all the tax liens that are out there, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an interesting idea, and I think it's worth a try.
Yeah. So, hey, when we're looking at it, what's your take on the cryptos, the Donald coin, the Melania coin? Bitcoin's now, I think today, as we're speaking, about $107,000.
Oh, that's another record.
Yeah. Close to it. Might not be quite there, but it's almost there.
I thought 106 was the record, but I'm not keeping close track, so I may be wrong. But anyway, I think Bitcoin is in a class by itself. It's a completely different idea. These other coins are junk. They're fads. They're not like real things. But Bitcoin does have a case. It has a real case, and I think it's interesting. I think it's good that the Trump administration's getting behind it. Again, any of this could go to zero, so be extremely careful. It is a speculative asset. I certainly own some, but I'm invested in pretty much everything that I can think of, at least. And so, diversify is the word to the wise, but I think you should own some. My favorite asset class, though, is still income property. I like little single-family houses that produce income. I think those are the best thing going. And I will tell you, though, Carrie, this is one of the hardest years ever in my career, and I've been helping investors buy properties nationwide for 21 years now. This is one of the hardest years ever to predict the real estate market. Usually, I have very firm predictions, and I'm usually very right about them. They usually come true. If you can hold me accountable to that, just go listen to my show from 20 years ago, and it's all there, like it's date stamped. I can't change it. Okay, and you can hear what I was saying then and see if it came true. You can backtest me. But anyway, there are so many unknowns right now. Right? I think certainly we have a serious housing shortage. There's no question about that. Trump's idea of letting builders build on federal lands will not solve the housing shortage. And I'll tell you why. Because the housing shortage isn't really about land. It's about construction materials. And houses, the ingredients of a house, think about it, are concrete, lumber, copper wire, petroleum products, energy, labor, glass, steel. Those are the ingredients, right? And other things, of course. And a lot of those ingredients come from offshore. Okay, think of a house and just think of the little parts. Think of all the hinges, the doorknobs, the fixtures, there's just a zillion little things, the garage door openers, all of this stuff, right? These all come, not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them are imported. And so if tariffs are slapped on those things, the cost is going to go way up, and that's going to push the cost up. But regardless of tariffs, which is another big if, right? We just don't know. It's an unknown. These materials are in short supply, especially with the LA fires, the North Carolina hurricane situation. There is a giant race, and I just read an article about this yesterday or 2 days ago in the Wall Street Journal. There is huge competition for building materials right now, and the cost can only go up, and that increases the cost of housing. So these problems are complex and they're hard to solve and they're hard to disrupt because it's a low-tech item. It's not like a new piece of software comes out and solves the housing problem. It's not like AI solves that problem. It's a low-tech item, and it's very hard to disrupt. So certainly there's upward pressure on prices, upward pressure on rents, probably for a long time to come. But how much? I don't know, because there's just too many unknowns right now. So if I, just to conclude this idea, if I had to predict the real estate market this year, I would say we're going to see sort of a basic year of 4 or 5% appreciation. And of course, it depends on the market. Some markets, will come down a little bit. Some markets will go up more, but the average 4 or 5%, I think it's going to be kind of an uneventful year. But again, a lot of cross currents and a lot of wild cards. It's the first time I've really said, I just don't know.
Well, I think AI is going to come into play here because one of the things I watched with the new DeepSeek AI from China is the thing wrote perfect code. Like you tell it to program a Tetris type program for you and it does it. And they change the parameters. It works. I think we'll see new building techniques coming out of this because look, the perfect example of an AI-driven company is Tesla. Everything that's coming out of that company, every change, I believe, is AI-driven. I think it might come from individuals, an idea, but the implementation, all AI-driven. And we're going to see that, and it's going to happen faster than anybody could believe.
One of my newsletter articles recently that a lot of people really liked was about AI agents. And AI agents are basically things that do things. They're AI systems that do things for us, okay? And I talked about how this year is going to be the year of massive expansion of AI agents.
Oh, yes.
And this basically allows people in every socioeconomic class. I mean, look, I noticed this kind of startlingly when I was in Mexico City a couple of months ago. And, I couldn't believe how low-income people there were using AI. They were using all this great tech. And basically, think about how much better your life gets if you have multiple assistants, right, that are free or incredibly cheap to use. And they're doing things for you. And they're freeing up your time so that you can work more, you can create more, or you can just have more leisure. And there is a lot of prosperity that is going to be created out of this AI revolution. And we ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, it's going to blow our minds. And as prosperity is created, that's going to mean more dollars, more money flowing into the economy, putting upward pressure on prices.
And it's going to happen so fast. Most people see this. They know it's there, but you don't know how fast it's going to happen. But it's
Carrie, in 2 to 3 years, we won't even recognize things. It's going so quickly.
Well, as somebody once told me, it's an amazing time to be alive.
I'm starting to say that again. I was a little pessimistic for a few years, and I didn't use that much, but I'm saying it more often now.
It's just as human beings, there is a limited amount of change that you can tolerate. Because it's disruptive,
right?
Makes you feel insecure. I think you and I are more primed to it, kind of gotten on the wave. But most people out there have no capacity to handle this.
Yeah,
right. I mean, even down to if you had a robot that just washed the dishes for you, picked up, served you food, that would be such a disruption to the average person's life. It would be really difficult.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think though, number one, this is going to be such a smooth integration into people's lives this time around. And I'll just give you an example of that. Who was it that said this? I don't know, but I saw it tweeted a bit, and it was this. That the hottest new computer programming language is English.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not C++, it's not Python, Cobalt, it's not all of this stuff. It's English, and all of these computers with AI, really with Chat GPT, okay, being the forerunner, have made this so easy. It's like you don't have to really learn anything except just how to use your language you already use, right? So this is going to be a very smooth integration. This revolution is bigger than the internet itself, and just massive amounts of prosperity and standard of living benefits are going to accrue. They're going to be widely dispersed and accrue to pretty much all people on Earth.
Yeah, it's very true, but it's still going to be disruptive. Because even if you're miserable in your life, you're working your butt off, it's your life. You're used to it. You've learned to live within confines.
Sure, I get it.
Rapid change. We're talking rapid change here. Even for the better, it's still change, you know? And it's like I always viewed it, you have three kind of spheres in your life, like somebody that once ran for president recently said, I love Venn diagrams, the way you kind of draw circles, they intersect, but you have your social life, your career, your family life. They overlap, let's face it. And as long as two of them are stable, you could deal with generally, you can deal with disruption
in one. Yeah, that's interesting. You know.
Two of them, it's going to be more difficult. You're moving and you're getting divorced. All right. That's a tough one. A lot of people get depressed about it. When all three are in upheaval, that's what I'm thinking of. Even if it's eventually for the better, you know? So it's going to be interesting for sure. Hey, so, when we have this conversation, Jason, next January 30th, where do you think we'll be?
I think we will be more prosperous. I think interest rates will be a little lower in terms of mortgage rates. I think housing prices will be higher. I think rents will be higher. And I think, I think we're going to have a lower population slightly because of the deportations. And I don't know if we're going to have tariffs or not. I just don't know.
Well, you can do the tariffs.
Yeah.
They're not a cure-all, but they're more a leverage thing for getting other things that you want, like with Colombia, what happened.
Oh, and it's working.
Hey, the guy, whatever you feel about him, and believe me, I understand why a certain segment of the population doesn't like him. The derangement part, that I don't get, because that just defies reason. But, when you get locked up in the emotional state, that's the enemy of critical thinking.
Yeah.
But, the executive orders, the effort to reinvent government, Reagan was going to do it. Then he got shot 60 days after he took office. And, then that was kind of the end of it. But this guy is like a force of nature. And I don't think he's going to stop.
And he already got shot, so.
Yeah. Hey,
he's already dealt with that, the emotional part of that, yeah.
Yeah, and, when you're confronted with that, like you get into a bad accident, whatever, near-death experience, it's going to change you. Well, anyway, Jason, tell us where we find you. How do we connect with you on the web?
Sure, absolutely. So my YouTube channel, just type Jason Hartman on YouTube. Podcast, same thing, just type my name. And, of course, main website, jasonhartman.com.
All right. And the link's in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. When you go there, we just ask that you sign up for your free newsletter. Actually, it's 67,000 of you out there have done already. Some of you unsubscribed, but in total, 67,000 people subscribed. So be one of them. Get valuable info like this. We never tell you what to do. We never give you advice. We just give you information. And then you take that information and you figure it out. And by the way, if you're still listening at this point, which probably at least a few hundred of you are, if we've helped you in the past, if you've had heard from a guest on the show that has really made a difference. And I know there's a lot of you out there because I've gotten the emails. Just send us an email or put a comment down in the YouTube channel. Jason, it's always a pleasure. We will talk to you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.
Likewise, happy investing.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.